Welcome back. Today, we explore the value of these old and bad condition. First up, the 1911 Abraham Lincoln wheat cent is part of the iconic wheat penny series, which was produced by the United States Mint from 1909 to 1958. These pennies are significant not only for their historical importance, but also for their distinctive design and the fact that they were in circulation for nearly 5 decades. The Lincoln wheat cent was introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who is best known for leading the nation through the Civil War and abolishing slavery. The coin was created by famed designer Victor David Brenner, and the reverse side featured 2 stalks of wheat, symbolizing prosperity and the country's agrarian roots. The 1911 date holds particular interest in numismatic circles. The year 1911 marks the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and this cent was part of the regular mintage during a period of great economic change for the country. The coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and did not have a mint mark, as was customary for coins produced there. The 1911 penny, like most of the earlier years in the series, has a relatively high mintage, but the dirty condition often found in circulated specimens affects its value. However, even in worn or dirty conditions, a 1911 Lincoln wheat cent still holds significant market value. The obverse of the 1911 wheat penny features a classic image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Brenner. The profile of Lincoln is based on a life mask taken by sculptor George Gray Barnard in 1860, which gives the portrait a realistic and enduring quality. Above Lincoln's head, the legend "In God We Trust" is inscribed, and the coin's date 1911 appears below his bust. On the reverse side, the coin features 2 stalks of wheat, which symbolize America's agricultural roots. The words 1 cent are prominently displayed at the center of the design, flanked by the words United States of America around the rim. The reverse design is relatively simple, yet it exudes an air of elegance, balancing the symbolism of the nation's growth with a clear, minimalist presence. The 1911 wheat penny was made from 95 copper, giving it a rich reddish-brown hue when new, which tends to fade and oxidize over time, especially in coins that were in circulation for decades. Dirty or worn specimens often exhibit a brownish appearance with signs of discoloration, corrosion, and other marks due to handling. The 1911 Lincoln wheat penny had a total mintage of 124 million coins. While this number is not particularly low, the condition of individual coins plays a significant role in their current value. Most coins from this year are found in average circulated condition, which reduces their value for collectors. However, even a 1911 penny in dirty or worn condition can still be worth more than its face value due to its historical significance and collector demand. The market value of a 1911 wheat penny in dirty or circulated condition can range between $30,000 depending on its wear and discoloration. Coins with additional features, such as unique patinas or unusual wear patterns, may fetch higher prices at auction or among private collectors. However, when a coin is in pristine condition, the value skyrockets. For instance, an Miss 64 mint state 64 example of the 1911 penny can easily sell for several $100s at auction, depending on the market's demand at the time. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1911 wheat cent is the potential for error coins. While this year is not known for any major striking errors, there are always a few exceptional specimens that might stand out to collectors. For example, some 1911 pennies have been discovered with minor die cracks, double strikes, or other variations. These errors often result in a higher market value than typical coins of the same year. Collectors are particularly interested in coins with unique characteristics, and even a 1911 wheat penny in dirty condition can garner attention if it has any distinguishing marks or irregularities. This coin's age, historical significance, and design all contribute to its ongoing allure in the world of numismatics. Next up, the 1965 Jefferson nickel in question is a unique and highly collectible example of an everyday coin that has reached considerable value in today's auction markets. While most 1965 nickels are not particularly noteworthy, there is a subset that stands out, those that have experienced distinctive changes over time, making them much more valuable. The Jefferson nickel was introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Slag, it features the profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, Jefferson's home. In 1965, the U.S. Mint was facing significant demand for coins due to a rising economy, and this was also the year after the U.S. transitioned from using silver in coins to copper and nickel due to the rising cost of silver. In 1965, the nickel continued to feature the basic design of Jefferson and Monticello that had been used for decades. However, the condition of some of the 1965 nickels, especially those found in less than ideal conditions, have made them more valuable. The large date variety, which is slightly different in size from the standard date, has captured the attention of collectors. As for the black color changed dirty condition, it's important to note that this particular coin has undergone significant environmental changes over the decades. The 1965 Jefferson nickel, like other coins from the 1960s, was minted in enormous quantities, over 1.5 billion pieces. This mass production means that typical 1965 nickels aren't rare. However, when coins exhibit unusual characteristics, such as this coin's color change or its blackened appearance, they enter a niche category that increases their value. Collectors often seek coins that have been altered by environmental factors, such as exposure to certain chemicals or conditions, which can create a unique patina or tarnish, adding mystery and rarity to the. On the obverse, the coin features the portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president. This design was created by artist Felix Slag and has remained relatively unchanged since its introduction in 1938. On the reverse, we see the Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia estate. The Monticello has been altered over the years, with some variations in the details on the building and the landscape behind it. However, the main characteristic of the 1965 large date without mint mark is the size of the date, which was struck with a different die. Most of the time, Jefferson nickels are minted with a small date, but in certain cases, such as this, a large date variety appeared due to the use of different dies. This subtle variation has garnered a lot of attention in recent years from collectors as it is considered an error. The most important factor contributing to the value of this particular coin is its unusual appearance due to environmental factors. The blackened appearance, often seen in coins that have been subjected to improper storage conditions or certain chemicals, makes it stand out from other 1965 Jefferson nickels. This altered state is viewed by many collectors as a form of natural error and enhances the rarity and value of the coin. The combination of its blackened appearance, the large date variety, and the lack of a mint mark makes this coin highly desirable to collectors of unique and error coins. As of 2024, a 1965 Jefferson nickel with these features has sold for prices in the range of $215,000, depending on its specific condition and provenance. Next up, the 1918 Lincoln wheat cent, minted in Philadelphia without a mint mark, is another important coin in the wheat penny series. Produced in a time of immense historical change, this coin was struck during the final years of World War I, a period that would shape the course of American history and influence the economy for decades to come. The 1918 penny was created in the wake of a global conflict that required significant resources from the United States. While the coin itself might appear simple, its context within the broader scope of American history is anything but. The war years saw the U.S. Mint working at full capacity to meet the nation's needs for coinage, and the 1918 wheat penny is a reflection of this industrious period. The coin's design, which has remained iconic throughout the years, continues to be one of the most recognizable in American coinage. The Lincoln wheat cent series was a celebration of both the nation's most beloved president and its agricultural roots, with the 1918 coin being no exception. It is estimated that over 200 million 1918 pennies were struck, making it one of the most widely circulated coins of the era. The obverse of the 1918 wheat penny features an enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, based on the life mask made by sculptor George Gray Barnard. This familiar image of Lincoln is surrounded by the words "In God we trust," with the date 1918 appearing below the president's image. While the 1918 wheat penny in its prime would have been a shiny copper-colored coin, those in damaged condition often exhibit signs of oxidation, discoloration, and scratches which make them less visually appealing. However, even coins in less than perfect condition retain their historical importance and remain highly collectible. The 1918 wheat penny had a mintage of approximately 207 million coins, making it one of the higher mintage coins of the wheat penny series. Because of this high mintage, finding a 1918 penny in circulation or in poor condition is not uncommon. However, coins that have been damaged, such as those that have been scratched, bent, or otherwise altered, are less desirable to collectors, though they can still hold market value. Even in damaged or worn condition, the 1918 wheat penny can be valued at $200,000 depending on its specific condition and collector interest. While this may seem modest, the value could increase if the coin possesses some rare feature or error, such as a die crack or a variety that collectors seek. As with many other coins in the series, the 1918 wheat cent has several known varieties and minor errors that are sought after by collectors. These can include things like overdates, die cracks, or even coins with misaligned dies, which can cause the design to appear off-center. While these errors may not be extremely common, they do add an extra layer of value and interest for serious collectors. Though a coin in damaged condition may be seen as undesirable by many collectors, it's important to note that the value of the coin can still be significant depending on its rarity, unique features, and historical context. A 1918 penny in damaged condition with certain collector appeal could fetch a higher price at auction, especially if it is an uncommon variety or error. Next up, we have the 1970 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark that carries a rare error feature. Error coins are always a big hit in the collecting world, and this specific 1970 nickel is considered one of the most valuable error coins, not just because of its rarity, but also due to the distinctive dark color shade and dirty condition. These types of coins are usually found in lower grades but are highly valued for their rarity and error status, making them an attractive investment for serious collectors. The 1970 Jefferson nickel was minted as part of the regular annual series that features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello on the reverse. The mint produced these coins in large numbers, but errors during the striking process are what give this particular year its appeal. Error coins, such as those with improperly aligned dies or minting flaws, can have significant premiums on the open market. The D mint mark represents coins produced in the Denver Mint, which is known for its consistent production of high-quality coins. However, in the case of the 1970 nickel, some coins were struck with imperfections, leading to variations like a dark color shade or dirty condition that make them unique. The Mint's production figures for this year were substantial, but error coins with these features are not easy to find. Error coins like the 1970 D nickel can be highly valuable, especially in a dirty, dark color shade condition. While the base value of an average circulated nickel from 1970 is just a few cents, error coins can command much higher prices. The 1970 Jefferson nickel with an error in dirty condition can range in price, with typical sales prices going for anywhere from $200,000 depending on the severity of the error and the coin's overall market demand. The 1970 Jefferson nickel maintains the classic design that has been featured on the coin since 1938. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse shows Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. The error in the dark color shade typically arises from issues like corrosion or improper handling before the coin is even released into circulation. These imperfections, however, add to the coin's uniqueness and collectability. Collectors are always on the lookout for error coins because they are so much rarer than standard production coins. The error coins with dark color shades or dirty conditions tend to be of particular interest due to the distinctiveness of the flaw. Some collectors even specifically target these errors to build comprehensive sets of misstruck coins, and this has contributed to their significant market value. Next up, the 1925 Abraham Lincoln wheat cent, produced by the United States Mint, remains one of the most sought-after coins in the world of numismatics. As a part of the iconic Lincoln Wheat Cent series, the 1925 version is notable not only for its historical significance, but also its remarkable value in today's coin market. The coin, which features the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, is considered highly valuable when found in good condition. The 1925 wheat penny was minted during a time of major social and economic change in the United States. The nation was recovering from World War I and entering the Roaring Twenties, a period of rapid economic growth, cultural changes, and technological advancements. Despite this prosperity, the coin itself saw relatively high mintage numbers, which initially made it less rare, but over time, its value has risen due to its age and the collector demand for well-preserved examples. The absence of a mint mark on the 1925 penny means it was struck in Philadelphia, as opposed to other mints like Denver or San Francisco. The mint mark, located on the reverse under the Y inscription, is absent, which is a typical feature for coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint during this era. The total mintage of the 1925 Lincoln Wheat Cent was approximately 130 million coins. This large mintage initially resulted in the coin being seen as common, but the passage of time, changes in collecting trends, and the general wear and tear of coins in circulation have made the 1925 penny rare in higher grades, especially in uncirculated condition. Despite the high mintage number, fewer and fewer of these coins remain in mint condition today, and as a result, demand for well-preserved examples has skyrocketed. The 1925 wheat penny in used condition is valued at a much lower price than its mint state counterparts, but it is still a coin that draws significant interest in today's market. As of the latest auction market trends, a 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny in used condition can command anywhere from $56,000 depending on the wear and tear. However, when we talk about coins with moderate or light wear, the value can increase to the range of $59,000 for coins that have been preserved in excellent, nearly uncirculated condition. Prices can soar to $78,000. The true value of this coin is influenced by several factors, including its grade, the level of wear, its appeal to collectors, and its overall rarity. If you find a 1925 Lincoln Wheat Cent in exceptional condition, you could see a much higher value in an auction, especially if it is a high-grade example. The 1925 Lincoln Wheat penny features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's likeness is seen in profile, facing right. Around the image of the president, the inscriptions read, "Liberty and in God we trust," with the date 1925 also appearing. Though the 1925 wheat penny is not known for any significant errors, there are certain varieties of this coin that are of particular interest to collectors. For example, some 1925 coins exhibit slight die variations, and collectors often seek these as rarer and more desirable pieces. The coin's market value is further driven by collector interest, which stems from the historical significance of the design. The Lincoln Wheat penny is a symbol of American history, and Lincoln himself is one of the most revered figures in U.S. history, making this penny a must-have for many collectors. First up, the 1942 Jefferson nickel is one of the most iconic and sought-after coins in U.S. numismatic history, particularly when it features a large S mint mark in circulated, color-changed, and dirty condition. The fascinating story behind the Jefferson nickel starts with its introduction in 1938 as part of a redesign aimed at modernizing U.S. coinage during the Great Depression. Designed by Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel was meant to replace the older Liberty head design, and its appeal lies in its historical significance, design, and the political and economic climate of the time. However, it's the 1942 large date nickel with the large S mint mark that stands out as a collector's dream. The US Mint in San Francisco produced these special versions of the coin during the World War II era when nickel was a crucial metal for war materials. The large S mint mark found on these coins makes them rarer and more collectible compared to their regular counterparts. Additionally, these coins were minted in large quantities, but over time, their condition has deteriorated and many have circulated extensively, leading to a range of grades and conditions that affect their market value. The 1942 Jefferson nickel was minted during the middle of the Second World War, at a time when the country was fighting in Europe and the Pacific. The U.S. Mint produced these coins primarily in the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. However, it's the San Francisco Mint that is of particular interest for collectors, as the coins with the large S Mint mark have always commanded a premium due to their rarity and distinctive characteristics. Out of the millions of nickels minted that year, only a small percentage of them were struck with the large S Mint mark. Mintage numbers for the 1942 Jefferson nickel with a large S Mint mark stand at approximately 24 million coins, but most of them have been circulated over the years, leading to a limited number of examples in higher grades. As the years passed, many of these coins have been subject to heavy wear, environmental factors, and even corrosion, making them more difficult to find in excellent condition. Market value. In terms of market value, the 1942 Jefferson nickel large date with large S Mint mark in circulated, color-changed, and dirty condition can still fetch hundreds of dollars at auction, especially when sold to the right buyer. Even in less than ideal conditions, these coins carry a premium due to their historic significance and their relative scarcity in specific grades. Coins that are heavily worn or discolored may sell for as little as $400,000, but those with a clean surface or minimal wear could fetch much more, sometimes even reaching $500,000 depending on the coin's specific grade and the current demand marketplace. The design of the Jefferson nickel remains largely unchanged from its inception in 1938, and it continues to be celebrated for its portrayal of President Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, who is featured in a left-facing portrait on the obverse. The reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's historic home in Virginia, and is symbolic of his legacy as a statesman and architect. The large S Mint mark on the reverse side is the key distinguishing feature of this particular coin. While this particular nickel isn't necessarily considered an error coin, the large S Mint mark and its condition often make it one of the most highly sought-after variants for collectors. Additionally, collectors often value these coins for the unique coloration and patina that can develop over time due to factors like oxidation, exposure to elements, and the dirty condition in which some examples are found. Next up, the 1920 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny is another coin from the same series as the 1925 cent, but it carries its own unique history and characteristics. While the coin is in dirty condition, collectors and numismatists still find value in it due to its age, the historical context in which it was struck, and the scarcity of well-preserved examples. Although the coin's condition is not ideal, this particular penny's status as part of the early years of the 1920s makes it a compelling item for The 1920s were a fascinating period for the United States. The coin was struck just a year after the end of World War I, during a time when the US was undergoing major social changes. The country was in the midst of the Roaring Twenties, and this was the era of jazz music, flappers, and rapid economic growth. The coin represents a pivotal time in American history. Despite the social changes of the time, the coin itself was relatively standard for its production period. The minting of the 1920 Lincoln wheat penny was part of a long tradition of creating durable and widely circulating currency for the mintage for the 1920 Lincoln wheat penny was an astounding 150,800,000 coins. This large mintage would have made the coin relatively common in its day, but as time went on, many of these coins have been lost, worn down, or simply removed from circulation by collectors. In its dirty condition, the 1920 Lincoln wheat penny typically fetches a value of $88,000, which is much lower than if it were in better condition. However, due to its age and rarity in higher grades, there is still a strong demand for this coin among collectors. Coins in fair or fine condition can command prices closer to $92,000, depending on their specific level of wear. For coins in nearly uncirculated condition, auction prices can exceed $100,000, especially if the coin is part of a highly sought-after collection or if it has been certified by a reputable grading service. Like the 1925 Lincoln wheat penny, the 1920 penny features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse displays 2 stalks of wheat, and the usual inscriptions surrounding the wheat design are. Although there are no major errors associated with the 1920 Lincoln wheat penny, collectors tend to pay a premium for coins with interesting die varieties or unique flaws. Dirty coins, while not particularly desirable for most, can still be valuable if they are rare examples or if they have some distinctive feature that appeals to collectors of the era. Next up, the 1969 Monticello nickel with a large date and a D-mint mark is a standout piece in the world of numismatics. This coin was issued as part of the Jefferson nickel series, which was first introduced in 1930. The reverse features an image of Monticello, the home of President Thomas Jefferson, and is widely considered one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coinage. The 1969 edition of the nickel is not as rare as some other years, but it still holds significant value for collectors, especially when it comes in fine condition or higher. The key feature in the 1969 coin is the large date design. The mint used a different die for the obverse that created the larger digits of 1969, making it distinguishable from the smaller date versions minted in other years. In terms of market value, the 1969 large date nickel with a D-mint mark in fine condition typically sells in the range of $20,000, depending on the specific quality of the coin and current market conditions. However, coins in higher grades can command even more. The total mintage for the 1969 Jefferson nickel was substantial, with millions of coins being produced. In fact, over 195 million nickels were minted that year across both the Denver and Philadelphia mints. However, it's important to note that the 1969 large date version is a key variant that draws significant attention. Though not extremely rare, it is highly sought after by collectors who are looking to complete their Jefferson nickel sets, particularly those interested in obtaining a pristine specimen of the 1969 large date variety. Collectors often focus on the D-mint mark variety due to its slight rarity compared to the Philadelphia variety, which didn't feature a mint mark. This specific detail adds an additional layer of intrigue for collectors, boosting the coin's value and desirability. One of the most compelling reasons for the high collector interest in the 1969 Monticello nickel is the large date error, which makes the coin visually distinct from the smaller date variety. The error is a result of a change in the Ds used to produce the coins. Some coins from this batch have a noticeable difference in the size of the numbers on the obverse, which sets them apart from the regular issue coins. Additionally, the fine condition of the coin can also greatly affect its price. Coins in this state will show light wear but still maintain the integrity of their design details, making them appealing to collectors looking for coins with some character but not heavily. The market value for a 1969 large date nickel with a D mint mark in fine condition is generally in the $30,000 range, but this can vary based on the current auction trends and specific coin grading. It is worth noting that higher grade examples, such as those graded extra fine or uncirculated, can fetch significantly higher prices at auction, sometimes reaching over $500 or more depending on the rarity of the specific coin in question. Collectors are particularly drawn to the 1969 large date D-mint coin due to its historical context, the interest in Jefferson nickels as a series, and its error-based design variation. If you happen to find one in your collection, it's definitely worth having it evaluated by a professional numismatist to determine its true value. Next up, the 1939 Lincoln wheat cent, often overlooked in the broader conversation about US coinage, is actually one of the more fascinating and valuable pennies from the early 20th century. With its large date design, this coin is a prime example of how minor differences in minting can result in substantial value on the collector's market. The 1939 Lincoln wheat penny is part of the larger Lincoln cent series, which has been minted since 1909. This particular coin was issued during a time when the United States was in the midst of economic recovery following the Great. By 1939, the country had begun to stabilize, though the effects of the economic downturn was still being felt by many. The Lincoln wheat cent itself was designed by Victor David Brenner and was first released in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse of the coin features a portrait of Lincoln, while the reverse showcases 2 ears of wheat, symbolizing America's agricultural heritage. The 1939 penny is significant because it falls within a period when coinage was undergoing subtle changes, yet still retained much of the traditional design elements. The large date variation on the 1939 coin became noteworthy for collectors due to the noticeable size difference compared to other years. On the obverse of the 1939 Lincoln wheat cent, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, with Liberty inscribed to the left and the year of minting 1939 prominently displayed to the right. The coin's reverse shows the familiar wheat stalk design, with United States of America and a pluribus unum on the upper and lower portions of the coin, respectively. The large date feature of this coin refers to the size of the numerals used to display the year, which is noticeably larger than those on the regular 1939 pennies. This difference may seem subtle, but it significantly impacts the rarity and value of the coin. It's one of the distinguishing factors that sets the 1939 large date penny apart from its smaller dated counterparts. The 1939 Lincoln wheat cent is known for its high-quality strikes, and even a coin in fine condition can retain a considerable amount of detail. The fine condition typically features well-defined Lincoln's features, such as his prominent nose and cheek, though some wear is visible, especially on the wheat stalks. The total mintage of the 1939 Lincoln wheat cent was approximately 684 million, making it relatively common compared to other rarer years. However, the distinction of the large date version gives this coin an elevated level of demand among collectors, particularly when found in fine or better condition. The large date variety is seen as more desirable due to its scarcity compared to the smaller date 1939, despite the fact that both types were struck in similar quantities. This makes the 1939 large date penny somewhat of a hidden treasure for those unfamiliar with its nuances. In today's auction market, the value of a 1939 Lincoln wheat cent in fine condition typically ranges from $72,000, depending on the specific quality of the coin and the buyer's interest. If you find this coin in higher grades, such as extremely fine or MI63 mint state, the value can significantly increase, sometimes reaching over $82,000 or more at auction. As with most older coins, the value can be influenced by factors such as coin tuning, rarity in specific grades, and the overall demand at the time of sale. For example, in 2023, a well-preserved 1939 Lincoln penny in extra fine condition sold for nearly $90,000 at an auction, underscoring the appreciation for fine examples of this coin. The 1939 large date Lincoln penny is of particular interest to era coin collectors, as any noticeable defects, off-center strikes, or other variations add to the appeal. Coins that show significant die cracks or other production anomalies can fetch even higher prices due to their rarity. There is also a dedicated community of collectors who focus specifically on Lincoln wheat cents, which makes coins like the 1939 large date penny particularly attractive. Lincoln wheat cents have always been popular due to their historical significance and relatively affordable entry price compared to other US coins. While the 1939 Lincoln wheat cent in fine condition may not be one of the highest valued pennies in the series, its significance in terms of design and rarity still makes it a key coin for collectors to keep an eye on. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a newcomer to coin collecting, this piece of history has proven itself to be worthy of attention in the world of coin auctions. Next up, the 1991 Jefferson nickel, featuring the distinctive D Mint mark, was part of a series of coins struck by the Denver Mint. This coin is particularly noteworthy for its worn and dirty appearance, a condition that, despite its imperfections, has been known to create a unique level of interest. The 1991 nickel was minted in the post-Cold War era, at a time when the US economy was entering a period of stability and growth. While the coin itself may seem like just another regular issue at first glance, its appearance as a result of environmental factors, color change due to dirt, or tarnishing adds an element of intrigue to its history. This is a modern coin that speaks to the passage of time and the effect that daily circulation and exposure to the elements can have on a piece of currency. Unlike older coins like the 1946 Jefferson nickel, the 1991 edition was produced in very large quantities. The total mintage of the 1991 Jefferson nickel was substantial, with over 1.3 billion pieces despite its relatively high mintage. The combination of its color change and very good condition places this coin in a specific collector niche where its value is primarily determined by its specific condition and appearance. The 1991 Jefferson nickel had a total mintage of 1.3 billion coins across various facilities, with the Denver Mint being responsible for a large portion of that number. While this mintage is considerably higher than earlier years in the Jefferson nickel series, the coin has a lower face value. So many examples were heavily circulated, leaving fewer coins in high-grade condition. Coins that are heavily worn, such as those with dirt or color changes, may not be as desirable to some collectors, but there remains a specific market for them, especially if they have unique characteristics. In very good condition with a color change from dirt or tarnishing, the value of a 1991 Jefferson nickel might seem lower compared to uncirculated coins. However, its unique appearance and slightly worn edges can increase its marketability among certain collectors who focus on variety and imperfections. The typical price range for a 1991 Jefferson nickel in very good condition falls between $53,000, however. Coins with more distinct characteristics, like an unusually deep color change due to environmental exposure, might see bids in the $74,000 range at auctions, depending on their eye appeal. Coins with damage or a worn appearance may not fetch as high a price as those in pristine condition, but the number of buyers interested in coins that reflect the real-world use of currency, with visible wear and coloration changes, helps keep the market. Additionally, coin dealers and collectors specializing in environmental damage coins may find such pieces interesting for their uniqueness and role in coin history. In coins that have experienced color changes or damage, the design features may not be as sharp or crisp as in uncirculated versions. The Monticello building may show signs of fading due to the tarnishing of the metal over time. However, despite the wear and dirt on the coin's surface, the basic design elements are still recognizable and offer a sense of continuity with earlier issues. One particularly interesting error that collectors may look for in the 1991 Jefferson nickel series is the presence of off-center strikes, die cracks, or double die errors. These types of errors occur when the coin is struck with more than one die, causing doubled features or misaligned designs. Although such errors are rare, they add value to the coin for collectors who specialize in finding unique mistakes in production. If a 1991 Jefferson nickel were to display such an error, its value could increase significantly, particularly if it were coupled with the coin's existing color change or tarnishing. Collectors who specialize in environmental damage or unusual coin conditions often seek out coins like this as part of their interest in the diversity of circulating currency. The appearance of this nickel, with its tarnished and aged features, is exactly what some collectors want in a coin, a piece that tells a story of its time in circulation and its journey through history. Recent auction prices for 1991 Jefferson nickels in very good condition with tarnishing or color change have been modest but steady. Coins that are sold with clearly visible color change can often fetch anywhere from $50,000 depending on the severity of the tarnish. Rare errors or coins with particularly interesting color shifts may push these prices into the $63,000 range at auction. As with all coins, the value of a 1991 Jefferson nickel can fluctuate depending on demand and overall interest in the broader market. However, one thing is certain. Even in a worn or dirty condition, this coin still holds appeal for collectors looking for variety, uniqueness, and a sense of historical relevance. Next up, the 1936 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark is another highly collectible coin, though it is often overshadowed by its more famous siblings in the Lincoln wheat cent series. However, for those familiar with the nuances of coin collecting, the 1936 penny holds a special place due to its historical significance and unique features. The 1936 Lincoln wheat cent was produced during the second half of the Great Depression, a time when many Americans were struggling economically. The coin itself represents a small piece of the era's financial recovery. The U.S. Mint continued to strike the Lincoln wheat cents with the same design that had been in place since 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Although there was no major change to the design in 1936, the economy had begun to improve, and the coin is often seen as a symbol of the hope that would eventually lead to the prosperity of the 1940s. The design of the 1936 Lincoln wheat cent is the same as other coins in the series, with Abraham Lincoln's bust featured on the obverse. The reverse shows 2 ears of wheat, which were intended to symbolize the country's agricultural strength. On the 1936 penny, there is no mint mark, as it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the main production facility for U.S. coins during this period. This lack of a mint mark makes the 1936 penny somewhat less rare than its counterparts struck at other mints, but the coin still commands a respectable value due to its age and historical context. Approximately 309 million 1936 Lincoln pennies were produced, making it one of the more common coins in the series. However, despite the high mintage, the lack of a mint mark and its place in the broader history of U.S. coinage ensures that it remains a coveted piece for collectors. Coins in fine condition are still relatively easy to find, though examples in higher grades like extra fine or mint state are rarer and more valuable. The demand for the 1936 Lincoln penny is particularly strong among collectors who focus on obtaining complete sets of Lincoln wheat cents. A 1936 Lincoln wheat cent in fine condition is typically valued between $25,000. However, when found in higher grades, the price can rise significantly. For instance, examples in extra fine or higher grades may fetch up to $50,000 or even more, depending on the specifics of the coin and the market trends at the time. For truly high-grade examples, such as those in mint state 64 or higher, the price can soar into the hundreds, especially if the coin is well preserved and exhibits eye-catching toning or luster. Like all major coin types, the 1936 Lincoln wheat cent has its share of error coins that attract extra attention from collectors. Some of the most sought-after errors include coins with misstrikes, double dies, or off-center. These errors can dramatically increase the value of a coin as they represent rare anomalies in the minting process. Collector interest in the 1936 Lincoln penny is high due to its place in the broader history of the Lincoln wheat cent series. As with other coins in the series, it is a frequent target of collectors looking to complete full sets, and its relatively affordable price point makes it an attractive target for novice collectors looking to build their portfolios. The 1936 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark is a coin that, while not necessarily rare, holds significant value for collectors due to its place in the history of U.S. coinage, whether you're interested in its historical background or the hunt for errors and unique features. This coin is a valuable addition to any collection. Next up, the 1946 Monticello Jefferson nickel, first introduced in 1938, was designed by Felix Schlag and has been an enduring staple of American coinage. The reverse features the famous Monticello, the Virginia home of Thomas Jefferson, with his likeness adorning the obverse. By the time the 1946 Jefferson nickel was minted, the U.S. had just entered the post-World War II era. This coin came at a pivotal time as the country was recovering from the war and entering a period of economic expansion. It holds historical significance as part of a coin series that continues to commemorate Jefferson's legacy and the ideals he represented. The 1946 Jefferson nickel was minted in significant quantities, but its large date, variety produced exclusively in 1946, has become a particularly important issue for collectors. The large designation comes from a slight modification to the design, which saw the numerals of 1946 appear larger than those on previous year's coins. This small but crucial difference led to an increase in collector interest, with certain versions of the 1946 Jefferson nickel becoming highly sought after due to their rarity and aesthetic appeal. The 1946 Jefferson nickel, while not rare in the general sense, has garnered a great deal of interest, particularly for those in higher grades like very fine. It was minted in large numbers, with 191 million pieces struck in total. However, the large date variety is particularly interesting because, although the mintage figures suggest widespread availability, the coin's market value is largely determined by its condition, with coins in very fine condition fetching a significant price. In today's auction market, a 1946 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in very fine condition can range from around $300,000 depending on the specific characteristics of the coin. However, coins that display minimal wear, with their details and Monticello buildings features clearly visible, can command prices on the higher end of the spectrum. The large date variation, in particular, has seen increasing collector demand over the past few years, leading some coins to sell for upwards of $400,000 in well-preserved conditions. For those who specialize in mid-20th century U.S. coinage, the 1946 Jefferson nickel large date without a mint mark is a prized asset. The obverse of the 1946 Jefferson nickel features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, based on the 1800 painting by artist Rembrandt Peale. Jefferson is depicted facing left, with the word Liberty inscribed above him and the date 1946 below. The large date variant shows slightly enlarged numerals for the year, which became a key point for collectors. The reverse design showcases Jefferson's Virginia home, Monticello. The structure is rendered in great detail, with its dome and columns clearly visible. The words Monticello and E pluribus unum are inscribed above, with 5 cents and United States of America placed below. The reverse of this coin has become iconic, symbolizing American values of democracy and history. In very fine condition, the details of Monticello and the Jefferson portrait are clearly defined. The coin's luster may have faded somewhat, but the overall design is still visible, making it a beautiful example of mid-century American coinage. While the 1946 Jefferson nickel is known for its large date variety, there is also interest in other subtle errors that can affect the coin's value. Some 1946 nickels display faint double dies or off-center strikes, which can significantly increase their value on the secondary market. These errors, while not widespread, are highly prized by error coin collectors, and the presence of such mistakes can transform an otherwise common coin into a valuable asset. Collectors of U.S. coins are also drawn to the historical significance of the 1946 Jefferson nickel. Post-war coins, in general, have become increasingly popular as collectors reflect on the mid-20th century. These coins represent the spirit of optimism that followed World War II and the growing influence of the U.S. on the global stage. The 1946 nickel, with its design honoring one of America's founding fathers, resonates with collectors interested in both numismatic and historical context. Recent auction results for 1946 Jefferson nickels in very fine condition suggest a slow but steady increase in their market value. In 2023, several examples sold for well over $366,000, particularly those with high eye appeal and clear design features. Collectors are increasingly focused on obtaining coins with minimal wear and well-defined details, pushing the price point higher for these sought-after pieces. Next up, the 1934 Lincoln wheat penny, a significant piece in U.S. coinage history, stands out as a notable collectible. The Lincoln penny series, first introduced in 1909, was designed by the famous engraver Victor David Brenner. The 1934 version, in particular, holds an intriguing place in numismatic history. The coin, which marks the 25th anniversary of the Lincoln cents release, showcases Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, on the This coin carries the large date feature, an aspect that will come up frequently in our discussion on this coin's market value. The Lincoln wheat penny features the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, crafted by Brenner. The reverse depicts 2 stalks of wheat, which is why the coin is often referred to as the wheat penny. This design continued from 1909 until 1958, making the coin a lasting part of U.S. numismatic history. The 1934 penny's large date feature is what collectors pay close attention to. In 1934, there was a noticeable difference in the size of the digits in the date compared to other years. Collectors appreciate this subtle change, which makes the 1934 penny with a large date more valuable than its smaller date counterpart. The without mint mark attribute is also significant. Mint marks indicate where the coin was produced, with coins from certain mints being rarer than others. The absence of a mint mark means that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which generally produced a larger quantity of pennies during this period. However, the key to the coin's value lies in the condition and rarity of the specific year and feature. The 1934 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was minted in significant numbers, making it somewhat common at first glance. However, the condition of the coin is crucial. This coin was initially produced in the millions, and over time, a substantial portion of these coins have been lost to wear, damage, or improper storage. When you consider the 1934 penny's rarity in high grades, especially those in good condition, it becomes evident that this coin has a unique place in today's market. The dirty condition of the coin, as mentioned, can significantly reduce its value, but if it's still in good condition overall, the coin may still fetch a respectable price at auction. Collectors are often willing to pay a premium for any well-preserved examples of the 1934 Lincoln wheat penny, even those in less than ideal condition. The value of a 1934 Lincoln wheat penny can vary greatly based on its condition. A coin in poor or dirty condition may only be worth a few dollars. However, if it is in a better state, collectors are willing to pay much. A well-preserved 1934 penny, even with some wear and dirty appearance, could see a value of anywhere between $33,000. If the coin is graded as an MS-65 or higher, the value could skyrocket into the hundreds, possibly even exceeding 37 or more at auctions. The dirty condition, as stated, typically leads to a reduction in the coin's market value, as collectors tend to shy away from pieces that may have been improperly stored or affected by environmental factors. However, collectors who are more interested in acquiring pieces to complete a set or for investment purposes still find these coins appealing, and they can become more valuable depending on the auction's dynamics. One of the things that can influence the value of this coin is its potential for errors. While there are no significant known minting errors specific to the 1934 large-date Lincoln penny, collectors of Lincoln pennies are always on the lookout for any anomaly. Whether it's a double die or an off-center strike, even the smallest error could elevate the value of the coin considerably. As such, even a coin in dirty condition might still hold considerable value if it happens to have an error or unusual character. Interest in these coins is high due to the historical connection to Abraham Lincoln and their widespread use during the early 20th century. Whether for their design, historical significance, or rarity, collectors continue to hunt for high-grade examples of the 1934 penny, even those in dirty or compromised conditions. Thus, this coin remains a prized possession for those seeking to complete their penny collections. Next up, the 1960 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark is another piece that is highly regarded in the world of numismatics. Unlike other common Jefferson nickels from this era, the 1960 version has garnered attention due to its specific mint mark and the overall condition of the coin. The 1960 Jefferson nickel was minted in response to the same economic pressures that led to the 1965 coinage changes. This was a time when the US was dealing with the aftermath of World War II and the boom in population and industry. The coin was struck in large numbers, but in 1960 there was a change in the way coins were minted. The Denver Mint indicated by the D mint mark played a pivotal role in the production of nickels during this time. The 1960 Jefferson nickel's design remains consistent with its predecessors, but its particular mint mark and condition have contributed to its higher value in recent years. Over 200 million 1960 Jefferson nickels were minted at the Denver Mint, making this coin relatively common in terms of mintage. However, it is important to note that while the number of coins produced was high, the condition of these coins, especially those that have circulated heavily, plays a large role in determining their market value. As with most coins of this era, the value of the 1960 nickel increases when the coin is in better than average condition. Collectors specifically seek out coins that are in fine condition, where details are still visible and the coin shows minimal wear. These coins, although not extremely rare, are still in demand due to their condition and their specific. The design of the 1960 Jefferson nickel is similar to previous years, featuring the image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse. The reverse displays a rendition of Jefferson's Monticello home, which was updated slightly over the years to better match the actual architecture of the building. The most important aspect of this coin, however, is its mint mark. The D mint mark, located just to the right of Monticello on the reverse, indicates that the coin was minted at the Denver Mint. This mint mark is one of the more common mint marks, but its combination with a coin in fine condition has made it a popular choice among collectors. While the 1960 nickel does not feature major errors, there are some subtle die variations that can impact its value. These variations can include slight discrepancies in the alignment of the coin or minor doubling of the design elements, which can lead to increased interest from collectors. Coins like the 1960 Jefferson nickel are highly collectible, not only for their design but also for their connection to a very specific moment in US history. The coin represents a time when the US was transitioning in terms of its economy, and the designs on these coins reflect that era. At auction, a 1960 Jefferson nickel in fine condition can fetch anywhere from $59,000, depending on the specific characteristics of the coin and any subtle errors that may be present. Next up, the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny, like the 1934 coin, was produced during the Great Depression era, a time of significant economic challenges in the United States. The coin itself features the same Abraham Lincoln obverse and wheat reverse design, but there are subtle differences in mintage numbers and the coin's appearance, particularly in the way it has weathered over time. The 1935 penny's minting coincides with a turbulent time in US history. The US was emerging from the Great Depression and the economy was slowly starting to recover. The country was still feeling the effects of the stock market crash in 1929 and inflation had set in. During this period, the production of coins, including the Lincoln wheat pennies, was critical to the economy as it supported daily transactions. The 1935 Lincoln wheat penny features the familiar Abraham Lincoln portrait on the obverse, designed by Brenner. However, this particular coin comes with a distinct appearance due to its dirty green coloration, which often occurs when a coin is exposed to certain environmental factors such as moisture, dirt, or the elements. As with other coins in the series, the reverse of the coin features 2 ears of wheat, symbolizing abundance and prosperity. The 1935 penny also features the large date design, making it slightly different from other years and more desirable to collect. Similar to the 1934 penny, the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in large quantities, though the condition and market value can vary significantly. The 1935 penny saw a total mintage of over 200 million coins, ensuring that a significant number of them remain in circulation today. Despite the large mintage, the dirty green color on both sides of the coin makes it less common in terms of aesthetic appeal, which can make it an intriguing item for collectors who are interested in coins with unusual characteristics. The market value of a 1935 Lincoln wheat penny in dirty green color varies depending on the severity of the corrosion. In dirty or damaged condition, the coin may fetch between $22,000 at auction. However, if the coin has any rare features, such as specific errors or a distinct pattern in the discoloration, its value could rise to the $23,000 range. As with all collectibles, condition plays a key role in determining its market value. Collectors with an eye for rare or unique coin characteristics might still find value in this particular example, even in its compromised state due to its historical significance and the unusual green discoloration, which adds to the story of the coin's journey. As is the case with the 1934 penny, errors and anomalies can drive the interest and value of a coin. While the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny is not known for any major minting errors, its distinct appearance due to the green discoloration has piqued interest among collectors. These types of coins may not hold the same value as well-preserved examples, but they are certainly prized by collectors who enjoy rare or out-of-the-norm coins. Next up, we have another Jefferson nickel from a few decades earlier than 1954 Monticello nickel. This coin is part of the ongoing series introduced in 1938 and features a design based on Thomas Jefferson's home, Monticello. While the 1954 nickel isn't particularly rare by itself, the large date variety with the D mint mark is especially significant. In this case, the 1954 nickel in question has undergone a color change and shows significant tarnishing, making it a unique and eye-catching example. This discoloration and the coin's overall condition make it a standout for collectors who appreciate these quirks in a coin's history and character. The color change could be the result of environmental factors or improper storage, such as exposure to moisture, or over time, these external elements can lead to discoloration, giving the coin a unique appearance that makes it a sought-after item for those interested in unusual pieces of numismatic history. The 1954 Jefferson nickel was produced in large quantities, with over 120 million coins minted in total, most of which were struck in the Denver Mint. While the regular 1954 nickel is common, the large date variety with a D mint mark is much rarer, particularly when it exhibits unique characteristics such as discoloration and dirty condition. As a result, the market value for a 1954 large date Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark in this type of condition is on the rise. In an auction setting, such coins could fetch anywhere between $30 and $200, depending on their exact quality and the specific characteristics of the color change or tarnishing. It's not the most pristine example of the coin, but collectors value it for its authenticity and age, which adds to its appeal. One notable feature of the 1954 Jefferson nickel is the large date variety, which features a distinct difference in the size of the numbers on the obverse. In terms of errors, this coin does not exhibit any major striking flaws, but the discoloration and dirty condition could have occurred over time due to improper handling, oxidation, or the natural effects of age. The color-changing effect can sometimes lead to a unique appearance where the nickel exhibits hues of brown, green, or even purple, making it a fascinating object for collectors who appreciate the beauty of naturally aged coins. The market value for a 1954 Monticello nickel with a D mint mark in a color-changing, dirty condition varies greatly. While in fine condition, it might command a relatively modest price of $100,000. The specific value will depend on the degree of discoloration and how collectors perceive its unique aesthetic. As more people become interested in coins with natural wear and history, the value of these coins will likely continue to increase over time. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and leave your comments below. And as always, keep hunting for those rare treasures.